Dancing Toward a Dream on Common Lit. If you need to hear the story be read to you out loud, you can go to your clever icon and find the Common Lit app and type in Dancing Toward a Dream. You should find audio there for this article. In this week's lesson, we will learn to determine the main idea of a text, recount the key details, and explain how they support the main idea. Determine. If you determine something, you decide or settle it. So you will decide the main idea of this text. Main idea. The point the author wants you to understand about the topic. At the end of the article, you will need to decide what is the point that the author wants you to understand. Recount. If you recount a story or event, you tell or describe it to people. After reading this article, you should be able to tell someone else about the article in your home. Key details, the important information. You should know all the key details that support your main idea. Support. If a fact supports a statement or theory, it helps to show that it is true or correct. So when you figure out the main idea of the text, you will have to support that main idea or prove that it's true by giving key details or information that proves it's true from the article. Let's get started. In this unit, students will read 3 texts that speak to the theme of overcoming an obstacle. Throughout the unit, students will revisit the essential question, how does each person overcome these obstacles? Keep that question in the back of your mind as we read Dancing Toward a Dream. Now let's talk about how to find the main idea. When you read the first section or chunk of a text, state what it's mostly about so far in one sentence. As you read on, notice whether the next part offers more information about the same idea or if the author has moved on to a new idea. Collect each new main idea as you go. At the end of reading, you may be able to put the separate main idea statements together into one more complex statement. Watch as I read this paragraph, and then I'm going to find the main idea and say it in one sentence. Misty Copeland spends most days twisting, twirling, and leaping. She practices and perfects the graceful movements of her art. When she isn't performing, she is practicing. When she isn't practicing, she is stretching. She takes classes almost every day. She takes care of her body so she doesn't injure it when she goes to work as a soloist with American Ballet Theater, one of the most famous ballet companies in the world. So if I were to put this paragraph into one sentence, I would say it's about what Misty spends her days doing to become a successful ballerina. I treat my body with the respect that any musician would their instrument. I accept all that it is and do my best to make it the best it can be, says Misty. I love my body, she adds. Does this paragraph follow the same main idea as before? If not, what's the new idea? Don't forget to say it in one sentence. Misty didn't always feel so confident in herself. The challenges she has faced over almost 20 years of dancing have made her strong. She was a shy child and avoided the spotlight, but Misty loved music and movement. When she was 13, she joined the drill team, a dance line at her school in San Pedro, California. One day, Misty's coach suggested she attend a free ballet class at the Boys and Girls Club, where she often went after school. For 2 weeks, Misty sat on the gym bleachers watching the class, afraid to join in. Finally, she gave it a try. Hey, wait! This third paragraph seems to follow the previous paragraph in that it's about how Misty feels or has felt about her body for years. The fourth paragraph has a shift in idea. I think that paragraph is about how Misty ended up in ballet class. I'm making sure to say that in one sentence. Beginning ballet. At first, Misty felt out of place in the class. She didn't know anything about ballet, and she was older than most of the students. And instead of the tight slippers and leotards the other girls wore, Misty had on a t-shirt, baggy shorts, and sweat socks. Over time, however, she began to enjoy the lessons. She discovered that her body, especially her long legs and strong, flexible muscles, was just right for ballet. Tell me, is this a new idea, or does it follow the last idea? What would you say the new idea is? After the class season ended, Misty received a scholarship to a nearby dance studio. Most ballerinas start their training much younger than 13, but Misty's natural abilities and hard work helped her improve quickly. After only 2 months at the school, she danced en pointe on her toes for the first time. Soon after, she danced in her first show. The more she learned of ballet, the more important it became to Misty. So I think that this new paragraph starts a new idea. I'll say it in one sentence. This paragraph is about how Misty excelled in ballet. Over the next 5 years, ballet was Misty's life. She practiced, performed, and competed and attended summer ballet programs. Performing was my favorite part because I felt really open and free on stage, she says. For the first time in my life, I felt like I belonged. After she graduated from high school, she joined American Ballet Theater Studio Company. There, her feelings of belonging began to change. Is the author switching gears, or is this the same idea? Would you add anything to the idea? Tell me. I might add that this section is about Misty excelling at ballet and finally feeling like she belongs because the word seems to pop up, the word belong, that is. Changes and challenges. At the age of 19, Misty suddenly gained weight and developed curves. My body changed completely over the course of a couple months, she says. Misty had always been long and lean, which was considered perfect for a ballet dancer's body. But now, she says, I was being told that my proportions just weren't right anymore. This shook her self-confidence. In addition, Misty was the only African American ballerina in a company of 80 dancers. Because of this, she sometimes felt as if she didn't fit in. Misty says this time was one of the toughest moments of my professional career. Does this paragraph go with the previous paragraph? Or is this a new idea? What is the new idea? Even though Misty felt discouraged, she didn't quit. She talked with others who had struggled with similar problems. With the support of these friends and mentors, things slowly improved. She learned to care for her body by eating healthier foods. She learned training techniques specifically to her body type, and Misty, the girl who had always been shy, learned to stand up for herself. As she did, she began to believe again that she belonged in ballet. Did the author switch gears here? Well, the previous paragraph was about how Misty's body suddenly changed and she didn't fit in. This paragraph seems to be about how Misty dealt with not feeling confident. Today, Misty says, I've learned to embrace my appearance, skin color, and figure. She wants to help other dancers, especially ballerinas of color, accept themselves too. She wrote a picture book, Firebird, in which her character encourages a young African American ballerina. In a note at the end of the book, Misty tells readers to follow their dreams. No matter what that dream is, she writes, you have the power to make it come true with hard work and dedication. Misty continues to follow her own dreams, too. In July 2015, she was named a principal dancer, a ballerina of the highest rank at American Ballet Theater. She is the first African American woman to achieve this goal. Every morning I wake up and think, today I can be better than yesterday, she says, and that's pretty cool. Do these paragraphs go with the previous ones, or is this a new idea? What is the new idea? Say it in one sentence. So today we learned about finding the main idea, and that texts sometimes have multiple main ideas. And one strategy that we can do is ask ourselves, is the author switching gears after every paragraph or chunk of text? You can ask yourself, do these pages go together? Do these paragraphs go together? Or is this a new idea? When you're finished with the entire article or book, you can say to yourself, so this text is really about, and it may be a couple of ideas, or it may be one idea. It just depends on whether you decided if the author switched gears throughout the text. So now you can get out your notebook and write the answers to these questions. If you're choosing to upload to Edsby,
You could also type in a Word document your answers. So the first question is, why did Misty feel like she didn't belong in ballet? 2, how did Misty move on from the negative comments? 3, how does the text help the reader understand the connection between refusing to give up and achieving your dreams? And 4, in your journal, explain the main idea of this article.